Happy Friday, America. Good morning to all of you. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Our top story today, fireworks on Capitol Hill. Former special counsel Jack Smith testified under oath, facing direct questions about his investigations into President Donald Trump. Smith defended his conduct, his decisions, and the scope of his authority, claiming President Trump deserved to be investigated when he said the 2020 election was rigged.
Rather than accept his defeat in the 2020 election, President Trump engaged in a criminal scheme to overturn the results and prevent the lawful transfer of power. After leaving office in January of 21, President Trump illegally kept classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago social club and repeatedly tried to obstruct justice to conceal his continued retention of those documents. Highly sensitive national security information was held in a ballroom and a bathroom. As I testify before the committee today, I want to be clear. I stand by my decisions as special counsel, including the decision to bring charges against President Trump.
Okay, highly classified documents held in a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. Whatever you say, Jack Smith. He was pressed on whether the Biden Department of Justice coordinated with the White House outside political actors or advocacy groups. He beat around the bush on where payments were made.
We've gathered at $35 million. And what I want to know is how much of that $35 million of taxpayer money did you give to confidential human sources? We know you gave $20,000 to someone. It just got reported last week. How much more money did you pay confidential people we don't know about, with American tax money going after the guy we elected president?
My recollection regards the $20,000, which was not a payment from me. It was me approving a payment by the FBI to a confidential human source who was reviewing video and photographic.
Who's the source?
I do not know the identity of the source.
How many other payments went to this source or other sources?
As I sit here, I do not know the answer to that question. My role as special counsel,
$35 million, and you're giving money to people the country doesn't know who they are, and you're giving their hard-earned money to these folks? The main question I have, too, with this is, why'd you have to do it? You subpoenaed bank records from the RNC, phone records from members of Congress. You got subpoenas for bank records for people sitting right there on the front row. Why did you have to pay people for information when you could subpoena them and get it?
Time has expired.
Time has expired. You can answer the question, though. Country'd like to know why you had to do it.
My recollection and understanding is the payment, the $20,000 that I approved, was for a confidential human source to assist in the review of video and photographic evidence showing people who were attacking the Capitol, attacking police officers, obstructing the proceeding, and seeing if we could prove that some of those people had come directly.
That wasn't my question, but my time has expired. The gentleman.
Again, beating around the bush. And was Jack Smith even entitled to be special counsel? It's kind of like the auto pen. Did Biden sign pardons, or were they signed by the auto pen? Well, it's the same thing here. Was he really the special counsel? Because he couldn't even remember being sworn in to hold the office. Watch.
Mr. Smith, on November 18th, 2022, A.G. Garland appointed you as special counsel. Can you tell me about your swearing in or the oath of office that you took after that?
I don't recall the specifics of it. I know I was sworn in. I don't recall the specifics of how that was done.
You don't remember who swore you in?
I don't.
Would you agree that taking the oath of office is a legal requirement for the job that you had?
I've taken oaths of office regularly. I haven't researched whether it's required or not, but I've done that, I think, in every government case.
It is required. Terms I heard earlier today were atypical, irregular, no proper procedure. Yet in your opening statement, you said that we followed Justice Department policies, and I would assume you meant the law as well. It strikes me as odd that you don't remember who swore you in, how you were sworn in. It's pretty significant. We all get sworn in here, and I remember every day. You don't remember who swore you in.
I don't remember the details of it as I sit here today.
But you did take the oath of office before you got rolling.
I think my recollection is it was when I was appointed.
It was when. It strikes me as odd that Attorney General Garland had you retake the oath of office on the 14th of September of the following year. Why did he make you do that?
As I sit here right now, I do not recall. I know that there is the oath of office that I signed. I believe it was on the 18th, the day that I was appointed. And I know the department had me do a second one. I don't know the particulars of why they asked me to do it again, but I know
you signed it on the 20th of November 22nd, November 2022, but there was no witness, which, I mean, you have to agree it's a little odd. If there's no witness saying that you took the oath of office, it would maybe make someone like me question whether or not you were legitimately doing the job until you finally took the oath of office. It sounds like the Attorney General had the same question and thought, oh, we got to have him sign this on the 14th day of September of the following year. So why did you take the oath of office again on the 14th of September of the following year when you say you took the office in November of 2022? Why'd you need to do it twice?
my recollection is that I took the oath of office, as you said, it was the 18th or the 20th, and felt I was under the oath of office. I believe, if you have it in front of you, I think I signed an oath.
You signed it, but there was no witness. There was supposed to be either notarized or a witness, and apparently Attorney General Garland thought it was significant enough to have you do another oath 11 months later. That's strange, right?
I don't know why they asked me to sign it again. I don't recall ever discussing this issue with Attorney General Garland.
Well, that is just wild to me.
It's wild to me, too. He doesn't remember. He doesn't recall. How do you not know when you were sworn in or if you were even sworn in? It was a long day for deranged Jack Smith. He said under oath that he couldn't be intimidated, but it was written all over his face, as you just saw. Our Kara Castronova tried to get answers from him in the hallways.
Mr. Smith, what do you have to say to allegations that you committed perjury tonight? What do you have to say to allegations that you defrauded the American people, Mr. Smith? That you wasted taxpayer dollars, Mr. Smith, on politically persecuting the president? Sir, did you defraud the American people? Do you think you're going to go to jail, Mr. Smith? Do you think the DOJ will come after you? Mr. Smith, do you think that you'll be arrested? Mr. Smith, did you break the law?
Mr. Smith, how could you say that Trump has no First Amendment rights to question an election, but Hillary Clinton gets away with prosecution?
Mr. Smith, are you shocked that President Trump won the election? Did you think you were going to get away with breaking the law? Mr. Smith, did you think you were going to get away with breaking the law? No comment, sir. Did you commit perjury? Did you perjure yourself, Mr. Smith? Are you afraid you're going to be indicted, Mr. Smith? No comment?
All those questions and not one comment. Well, also watching the showdown yesterday was President Trump. He was posting this on Truth Social. Based on his testimony today, there is no question that deranged Jack Smith should be prosecuted for his actions. He destroyed the lives of many innocent people, which has been his history as a prosecutor. At a minimum, he committed large-scale perjury. That coming from the president. We'll see what happens and if he'll be charged. 3 people are sitting in jail this morning accused of rushing in and protesting a church service in Minneapolis. Remember that? It's all part of the anti-ICE protests going on. And the Trump DOJ said they won't have places of worship being targeted. And the protesters, they went in yelling at the churchgoers, even a small child. And then while
as you can see, all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps.
So, you know, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges? So be it.
So be it. That guy's locked up now. Troublemaker William Kelly. He's in jail this morning. Also in jail, Nakima Levi Armstrong and Chantel Louisa Adams. Those two women right there. All three are facing charges relating to obstructing a place of worship and interfering with constitutional rights. The DOJ says more arrests are coming. Buckle up. Can't wait to see them. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, Vice President J.D. Vance held a roundtable discussion with city leaders in Minneapolis on how to work together for a safer city. Rhetoric and enticing unruly protests like the one in the church is not the answer.
Know that within the last, I think, week or so, maybe even more recently than that, you had a couple of ICE officers who were off duty, who had been doxxed online, who were sitting and having a meal at a restaurant in Minneapolis when a bunch of agitators showed up, locked the door, made them feel like they were in danger for their lives, and then, of course, it was federal law enforcement officers who had to come up, lower the temperature on the situation, and actually get those two off-duty officers to a point of safety. Now imagine, if you would, your life and your perspective on law enforcement if you can't even go to a restaurant without some agitators locking the door and making you feel like your life is in danger. That is the environment that has been created, I think, by a lot of very, frankly, far-left people, but also by some of the state and local law enforcement officials who could do a much better job in cooperating and working. And by the way, I'm not talking about the cops, who these guys told me on the ground, the cops are very sympathetic to what they're dealing with. I'm talking about the state and local elected law enforcement officials who could do a lot better job in making their lives a little bit easier. And in the process, they would make the lives of all Minneapolis residents easier, and that's what we want.
The vice president also clearing up rumors about a fake news article that was put out. The fake news reported that ICE rounded up a 5-year-old boy and took him into custody. That's the little boy right there, but it's absolutely not true. And also sharing it, Hillary Clinton. Vance put that rumor to rest.
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you know, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We just left Toledo, Ohio this morning for an economic messaging event. And I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy. And I think to myself, oh, my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien, and then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America? If the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense. Now, you know, there are so many of these cases like that where if you just understand the context, there have been a number of situations that I've looked into personally where I say, wait a second, we don't want ICE arresting American citizens. They're supposed to be enforcing the immigration laws against illegal aliens. So then I look into it and I find out that the American citizen who was arrested took a swing at an ICE officer. You can't have that happen. And of course they have to defend themselves. And of course they have the right to detain somebody who assaults a law enforcement officer. Now, this is my point. Do we want these things to happen? Do we want these arrests to be so chaotic? No, we don't. These guys want it least of all, but if we had a little cooperation from local and from local and state officials, I think the chaos would go way down in this community.
And of course, we feel sorry for the 5-year-old. Who wouldn't? No one wants to put a child in that situation, but maybe the father should have thought about that before he came here illegally. And this is why you don't trust the media. They take a photo, they make up a story, they get clicks and views online, they get people angry and upset, and people like Hillary Clinton, who doesn't know the facts, people like her share it to her millions of followers, all the while the entire thing is fake. Then over in Massachusetts, a town hall meeting on ICE and immigration. As you see here, a packed house. The room was mixed, supporters of ICE, opposers of ICE. Our Heather Mullins was there last night, and she has this report.
Hey, Vanessa. So I want to give you a brief update here on what happened in Falmouth, Massachusetts. There was a town meeting at the local senior center, and the title of it was ICE and Immigration Community Conversation. And so not really knowing what to expect, I showed up at this meeting. There was a panel of speakers. The room was packed. It sort of seemed to be a mixed bag of the audience. There were some people there that you could clearly you could hear some of the things they were saying. They supported ICE. There was another portion of the room that they didn't support ICE. Clearly, the panelists, though, the speakers that spoke, tended to be on the side of basically calling ICE's activities as of recent appalling. They did not appear to stand with ICE and the operations and things of that nature. Some of the speakers there were the town manager, sort of introduced some of the people. There was the founder and current president of the director of the Brazilian Resource Center, a guy named Michael Macinas. There was Sheriff Donna Buckley. She's the attorney in Barnstable County's first female sheriff in Barnstable County. There was also Natalia Frois, a native of Brazil. She works on Cape, so she was sort of telling her immigration story. But then they also had Chief Jeffrey Laurie of the Falmouth Police Department and Lieutenant Ryan Hurt, who's of the Falmouth Police Department Civil Rights Division. I guess he's a civil rights officer, and he gave some speech. I did get some of that speech, so I'll be clipping that. We can use that in some later shows and whatnot. But all in all, it was really kind of baffling to me that they were basically just educating the room on how you can pretty much, it came across as like thwarting ICE efforts, right? Like what you can do legally, what you can do to report them if you see them. They gave out literature like this that says, see ICE, call the hotline and report it. And I spoke to a woman at the table where this stuff was being passed out. And I was like, so what is this? And she explained it. She's like, oh, yes, you report when you see ICE, and then they'll send someone or something to go and verify the sighting. There's some sort of like organizational effort to track the movement of ICE within the town of Falmouth and within the state. So I don't know what the legality is of that. I tried speaking with some of the officers that were there, but they wouldn't want to, they said they couldn't do interviews. They couldn't speak with me. So at least they couldn't speak with me on the record. I could try giving them a call back this week, but all in all, it really, it was quite the I kind of expected it a little bit because Massachusetts tends to be left-leaning, but there were actually the chairs of two local Republican town committees, both Falmouth and I believe the town of Sandwich, and the gentleman from Sandwich actually spoke to me and said that he was a little disappointed that they didn't bring up the fact that some of these illegal aliens that ICE is apprehending are in fact criminals and dangerous criminals, and that is a concern of his, that these people could potentially be in the community. So last night's meeting was primarily just about sort of like humanizing immigrants. They didn't really differentiate between illegal and legal. They just said immigrants. That was one thing that some people watching noted. So it was quite the seminar, but I'm going to be going through some of that footage and we'll have a lot more updates. And they did actually say they're going to be planning on doing more of these meetings. So we'll have to cover future ones and keep you all posted as to what happens in Massachusetts.
All right. Well, flyers passed out on knowing your rights and how to report ICE. Again, how to report ICE. They're not passing out flyers on reporting illegals, but reporting ICE. Back on Capitol Hill, Paris Hilton took a stand defending victims of artificial intelligence porn. Paris says there are thousands of fake photos of her on the internet. And with AI, it's getting more common for American women to find fake pictures of themselves on the internet.
When I was 19 years old, a private, intimate video of me was shared with the world without my consent. People called it a scandal. It wasn't. It was abuse. There were no laws at the time to protect me. There weren't even words for what had been done to me. The internet was still new, and so was the cruelty that came with it. They called me names, they laughed and made me the punchline. They sold my pain for clicks, and then they told me to be quiet, to move on, to even be grateful for the attention. These people didn't see me as a young woman who had been exploited. They didn't see the panic that I felt, the humiliation or the shame. No one asked me what I lost. I lost control over my body, over my reputation. My sense of safety and self-worth was stolen from me. And I've fought hard to get those things back. And I believed that the worst was behind me, but it wasn't. Because today, what happened to me then is happening now, to millions of women and girls in a new and more terrifying way. Before, someone had to betray your trust and steal something real. Now, all it takes is a computer and a stranger's imagination. Deep fake pornography has become an epidemic. I know today that there are over 100,000 explicit deepfake images of me made by AI. 100,000 circulating the internet. Not one of them is real, not one of them is consensual. And each time a new one appears, that horrible feeling returns. That fear that someone, somewhere, is looking at it right now and thinking it's real. No amount of money or lawyers can stop or protect me from more.
And it's happening all over the country, even all over the world. Paris is calling on Congress to pass the Defiance Act, making it illegal to post AI pictures and videos of women without their consent. All right, let's head to South Carolina now, where a new challenger is shaking up the Senate race. Mark Lynch is a businessman who is taking his fight to unseat Lindsey Graham.
Mark Lynch, South Carolina's choice for true conservative leadership. Lynch is a leader in the Palmetto State, a successful businessman and job creator. Married 37 years with 4 grandchildren, Lynch will wage the battle for America's future. Eradicate violent illegal invaders and terrorists. Warmongering, backstabbing traitors, removed. Mark Lynch means integrity, honor, courage, and something America really needs: backbone. Paid for and authorized by Lynch for Senate.
All right, Mark Lynch joining us this morning. Good morning to you, Mark. Thanks for coming on the show today. You are a lifelong resident of South Carolina. You raised your family there. You're a businessman there. What are you seeing in the state that needs changing?
Pretty much everything. After over 30 years of flimsy flip-flopper traitor and Lindsey Graham running things, we haven't even seen him comment or talk about anything in our state. He's all over the world as a warmonger, trying to promote more wars, and probably, he loves all that for some reason. It's just sick. We don't have the money for that, but he's not focused on anything America first.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people there in South Carolina are with you, because Lindsey Graham has focused on foreign affairs over the people of South Carolina. We've seen that a lot. That's what the people are telling me often. You know, Mark, I was on the campaign trail with President Trump for 2.5 years. I've spent some time there in South Carolina, and the people there just aren't happy. That's what they're telling me. They're questioning his voting record. And like you just mentioned, he's been in office for decades, and you can't expect to vote in the same person and get different results.
That's correct. We're fighting to close our primaries in South Carolina. I spoke at our state capitol last Tuesday. We have a new bill, a real bill, H 3310, that will close the primaries and create party registration. We've got to have that, or we're going to continue to get Democrats in office that claim to be Republicans. So we've got to stop that. And Lindsey's lifetime constitutional voting record is 57%. You know, in school, anything 69 and below is an F. So he's failing South Carolina, betraying Americans, stabbing Donald Trump in the back every chance he gets. And our polling shows that the majority of South Carolinians will not vote for him again. They prefer a businessman over a career politician or attorney, and that's me.
Yeah, and we've seen that on the national level as well with President Trump. Since 2016, America is tired of the everyday politician. They want a businessman, and look how well President Trump has done, and we know you can do the same thing in South Carolina. You know, you mentioned Lindsey Graham, you mentioned the Democrats who run as Republicans. Your take on rhinos and Congress members who are truly behind backing President Trump's agenda. They run on President Trump's agenda, but then they get in office and they don't back him. What's your take on these rhinos?
Well, again, rhino's a nice way to say it, a Republican in name only. I call them traitors. Lindsey's not honoring his oath to the Republican creed. He's not honoring his oath to defend against foreign or domestic enemies. Just recently, in the minibus bill, he voted to fund $5.69 billion into the refugee entrance programs. So he was supporting open borders a few years ago. He's saying he's for closed borders now because it's an election campaign season again. So he moves back to the right, but we know that that's not who he is. He's not one of us. He's lying to his constituents in the state and to the country and to President Trump. And inside that bill also got added more funding for transgender surgeries for our teenagers. So it's just evil, you know, and he claims he's a pro-life candidate. He's not. He's for murdering babies in the womb up to 15 weeks, and voted to put our taxpayer dollars into Obamacare and Medicaid to fund Planned Parenthood for abortions up until the moment before delivery in 9 states. And so that's, you know, our forefathers, Vanessa, in the Declaration of Independence realized our one true God, our Creator, endowed us with certain unalienable rights. And the first one is life. And he's not even for that. So he's not honoring his oath.
And that just puts a lump in my throat because, you know, Mr. Lynch, you can hear a heartbeat at 6 weeks. And so for these politicians to say it's okay to, you know, murder a child in the womb 15 weeks all the way to full-term pregnancies is truly disgusting.
Right.
It's murder. But on that topic, you've had some big endorsements, including from pro-life advocate Abby Johnson.
Yes. When we spoke at our state house last week again about equal protection South Carolina, because the baby in the womb deserves equal protection. And our oath is to support life and protect life as a congressman. And obviously, Lindsey's not doing that. She publicly endorsed me on all the cameras, and we're getting her written endorsement in a few days. And she's awesome. She's fighting.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because life begins at conception.
Yes. Yes, it does. We firmly believe that. That's what the Lord says. And we're looking at your website right now of all of the amazing endorsements you've received in your fight to unseat Lindsey Graham. Let's talk about your campaign real quick. How's it going? And a website people can go to learn more.
Yes. So we're traveling all over the state. We have a team of 4 of us and my wife. We go all over. We're getting back at 12 and 2 in the morning, and you know we're headed to Charleston tomorrow, and it's on, and we've got to, you know, and we love it. We're meeting people just like us, like you, like President Trump. We're the majority in the country and in our great state of South Carolina. We just have to get equal representation. We have true God-fearing conservatives all over the state, and you know, Lindsey's just a man, and I mentioned that at one GOP group we spoke to, and one of the gentlemen there, I said, I don't know that I would call him that, but you know, he can be removed. You know, I signed the front of my checks. Our funding for this scheme isn't coming from China, of a military-industrial complex to keep wars going. My wife and I prayed about this when we decided to answer the call of South Carolinians who pushed me to run, that know my life and the fruit I have in my life. I'm an ordained deacon in our church. I'm a successful businessman that's grown our business 35 times in 40 years, debt-free. And so we prayed about this, and we pushed $5 million into this campaign to seed it, to start it. So we're for real. I know Donald Trump wants to see skin in the game, and we're showing him that, and we look for his endorsement later in this campaign.
All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to good luck to you. Come back and see us soon. It was a pleasure having you on the show today. And give us your website for everyone who wants to go check out what you're doing across the great state of South Carolina and if they want to donate to your campaign.
Yes. Pray for us. Go to the website at LYNCH for Senate, F-O-R, lynchforsenate.com. And you can go to our X account on Twitter at MarkLynchSC.
All right. Sounds good. Mark Lynch, good luck to you. Thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you, Vanessa. Appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. Well, it is Friday. Let's switch gears as we start inching closer to the weekend. We are one day closer to that huge winter system sweeping across much of the U.S. We've been tracking the conditions for you all week long. Let's go to meteorologist Dana Melanson for your weekend outlook.
Thanks a lot, Vanessa. You know, more than half of the continental U.S. population are going to be feeling the effects of this massive winter storm that's going across most, again, of the United States, even as we speak. It's still sort of the calm before the storm in some spots of the U.S., but not so the case in the Northeast, where still areas around the Great Lakes, still some lingering snow that's going on, lake effect snow. Before the extremely cold and freezing winter conditions, now we're looking at in the Carolinas some shower activity. You can see where the frontal systems are lined up, and we'll have a lot of activity going on now. But again, it's that area of opportunity to prepare, and hopefully you've already done so in some of these regions. These are the areas that through Sunday are going to be seeing an increase in snow accumulation. Some 5, 6, some 10 inches additional snow could be felt all the way from New England to areas around the panhandle of Texas. Now, what might be a little bit more dangerous in some spots, only because people here in this area are not used to it, is the ice accumulation that will again stretch from portions of southeast Texas all the way through the Carolinas through the Sunday timeline. Now, right now we're looking at actual air temperatures, okay? Minneapolis, with that extremely gusty wind they're looking at now, they're 21 below zero. Current temperature, okay? Keep that in mind. Chicago's at 4 below. Buffalo at 15, Louisville, Kentucky at 25. We are expected for the high, get this, Vanessa, in Chicago, -1 degree today for the high. Back to you.
No, thank you. Stay in and don't travel if you don't need to. Hunker down in your pajamas. Enjoy the weekend. Bundle up. It's going to be cold out there. More to come here this morning. Art for the American Patriot. Artist Ray Simon is here with us to talk about his love for our country and then turning that into paintings.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELLTV, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10.
I am so excited about this next guest, Ray Simon, an artist who has the most beautiful artwork for anyone and everyone who loves the Lord and our country. Ray, good to have you on the show joining us this morning. Good morning to you. First, let's introduce you to everyone. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your artwork.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Vanessa. I'm big fan of your company, just so you know. I dedicated my whole life doing paintings. At a very early age, I fell in love with God in America. And I dedicated my entire life doing paintings that are in the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library, the George Washington Presidential Library, the World War II Battlement Commission, of which my father was in the 101st Airborne in the invasion of Normandy, June 6, 1944. So I dedicated. My art teacher at Ursuline High School always said, celebrate the art within you, not you within the art. So the paintings, all the paintings that I've done tell beautiful stories about us, all of us, and America, and how she came at a great cost. And I don't paint negative. I paint a better tomorrow, and you'll see it in the paintings. I mean, the paintings are actually become educational platforms.
And they're absolutely beautiful. You know, I've seen some of your paintings of President Trump, Charlie Kirk. Those are currently for sale on your website. Take us through this. Like, I'm looking at this picture now for our viewers of Charlie Kirk. This one still breaks my heart, Ray, because Charlie was such a wonderful man. He should still be with us today, but the Lord called him home, and we see that in your painting here. Tell us about your thought process in putting this painting together.
Thank you. I work with my agent, Ken Markovich, and we put a lot of thought, and that painting tells a beautiful story about a beautiful human being, and it's done in acrylic. And if you could see the image of Christ coming up to Charlie and saying, Charlie, it's time to put your microphone down. And Vanessa, if you look close on the bench, you see the microphone on the bench, and in the narrative of the painting, of which there's a QR code, Jesus says, Charlie, you've created 1,000 times 1,000 voices in my Father's name, and it's time to come home. And you see the white dove carrying the olive branch that goes back to Genesis 8:11, where Noah releases the dove, and it comes back with an olive branch, symbolizing that the waters receded and the reconciliation between God and humans have begun. But if you bring it to today, into now, Thomas Paine in 1776, and if you look around what's happening right now, Vanessa, Thomas Paine said, we have the power to begin this world over again. A situation similar to the present hath not happened since the days of Noah until now. The birthday of a new world is at hand. And Charlie Kirk was part of that new world. We see things changing. I mean, look what's going on in Minnesota. Look what's going on all over the world. Look what the far left is. If somebody would have came up to you, Vanessa, 10 years ago, and says, you know what, Vanessa, we're going to allow little boys to compete in girls' sports. Do you remember the commercial in 1990 where Ringo Starr walks on the TV set and says, this is not your father's Oldsmobile? This is not my mother and father's Democratic Party. My father served
You're
in World War
absolutely
II.
right.
And there is a fight going on right now, and Mike Lindell's leading that fight. So again, all the paintings that I've done tell beautiful stories about us, about America. America was never perfect. She was never perfect, Vanessa. My paintings were on display at the National Archives in Washington, D.C., and a 99-year-old Tuskegee Airman pilot said, Ray, America was never perfect. She might be the most perfect country on earth, but we all need to hold her hand as she continually gets well.
We do, hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder, and protect this great country. You have paintings, Ray, of President Trump in the White House, in Mar-a-Lago, Washington Museum, Lincoln Library. Look how beautiful for the viewers at home this painting is. You have done some amazing work. The one painting we saw of Charlie Kirk. You also have a painting of Charlie Kirk in the lobby of Turning Point USA. Amazing work you're doing. Have so much on your plate that you have a lot on your calendar coming up as well. I know you're working with Ohio candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. You're actually going to be working with the man we all love as well, Mike Lindell. So tell us about what we can see in the future from you.
Well, I'm really excited about, I've been a fan of Mike, not just because I'm on here, Vanessa. I've been a fan of Mike since I met him through JJ Cafaro, who's a dear friend of Mike, when he came to the Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio. And, you ever hear the saying, Vanessa, only the dead fish swim with the stream? Mike Lindell's not a dead fish. Mike Lindell, God has given Mike Lindell a burden of a job to do, and God never overweighs us with his challenges. And Mike Lindell is going to carry that challenge on. And the next painting I'm doing that's going to tell a beautiful story about Mike Lindell, his candidacy for governor in the state of Minnesota, and the challenges that he always talks about My Pillow, and it's that in a strange way I want to call the painting My Minnesota, Mike's Minnesota, because he's up against so many challenges, and I think when you interface his beliefs and Christianity and the line of Judah into into the aspects of the corruption that's been going on in the state of Minnesota, it's overwhelming. But I know that Mike Lindell has the has the ability to carry God's will and to do what's best for the people of Minnesota. What's on the future for me as far as an artist? That 12-foot mural that we're working to get on display at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., that just gives a spackling of America as she took her role on the world stage. And it goes into the history of America. I think the more we understand American history, the more we understand ourselves and the more we understand our future.
You're right. And I am loving what I'm seeing from you. All beautiful paintings. I want to direct everyone to your website. It's raysimon.art. raysimon.art. And I am happy to announce to everyone watching this morning that you have given me a promo code to help all of the shoppers out there, the people who are interested in your paintings, and plus you have other items on your website as well for purchase. You have a promo code now that you can use for extra savings. Vanessa, so thank you for that, Mr. Simon, for giving me a promo code and for helping our viewers watching this morning. So make sure you go to raysimon.art. We have it pulled up for you right now. It shows all of the beautiful paintings. And I even like this one here. I was looking at it last night of, it looks like a mother and her child there by the banks of a river. That one's beautiful, but very patriotic, God-loving, country-loving, America-loving paintings. Mr. Simon, we're so proud of you, and we're so glad that you came on the show today. And we want to stay in contact with you because I know you have some big events coming up where you'll be showcasing some of your paintings. And so I want to bring you back on for that. But in the meantime, everyone go to raysimon.art, type in the promo code Vanessa, and do some shopping. Beautiful paintings that you can hang
Thank you so much.
in your home, at your office. Like we just mentioned, one is hung at Turning Point USA's headquarters. We also have a painting of yours hung in Mar-a-Lago. Beautiful paintings, artwork. Make sure that you go to his website today. Ray Simon, good to have you on the show. Come back and see us soon.
Thank you, and thank you, Vanessa. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Well, it is the end of the week, and that means it's time for prayer with Father Frank Pavone. Now, this week, Father Frank is in Washington, D.C. for the March for Life. That's taking place today. Today, his message is about couples and love.
let's go to my book, Pro-Life Reflections for Every Day, and begin our time of prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Psalm 7 says, "The Lord is the judge of the nations." Reflection. On January 22nd, 1973, the decision called Roe versus Wade that legalized abortion was handed down by the U.S. Supreme Court. Today, in churches and on streets all over America, people of all ethnic backgrounds and faiths are praying and protesting that decision. Let us pray. Lord, I unite myself today with all my brothers and sisters in this great pro-life cause. Amen. Let's go right to our reading, and then we'll reflect on it in the light of this anniversary. A reading from the Gospel of Mark. Jesus withdrew toward the sea with his disciples. A large number of people followed from Galilee and from Judea. Hearing what he was doing, a large number of people came to him also from Jerusalem, from Idumea, from beyond the Jordan, and from the neighborhood of Tyre and Sidon. He told his disciples to have a boat ready for him because of the crowd, so that they would not crush him. He had cured many, and as a result, those who had diseases were pressing upon him to touch him. And whenever unclean spirits saw him, they would fall down before him and shout, "You are the Son of God." He warned them sternly not to make him known. Well, brothers and sisters, they wanted to touch him. Now, Jesus, of course, he's God. He fills the universe in all its parts as an eternal spirit. He dwells in us through the Holy Spirit. And he had shown himself quite capable of healing from a distance. Remember the centurion, "You are not worthy to come under my roof," and he healed from a distance. But we see, nevertheless, an important assertion of Scripture here. The people wanted to touch him. Notice they didn't have this mindset that, well, Jesus is powerful. All he has to do is think about me and he can heal me, do it from a distance. In fact, he can read my mind, as Jesus had also demonstrated in many instances. He's God. He knows what we're thinking at every moment. But the people didn't say, oh, well, he can read my mind, so I'll just ask him from a distance to heal me. They could have done that. Jesus could have done it that way. But the fact that they wanted to touch him, the fact that, remember even the other incident where he felt someone touch him and he felt the power go out from him, and the woman who had touched him was afraid, and finally she admitted it, and he blessed her. This tells us something about how God saves the world. Not just how he healed the diseases at that time, but when people protest about mediation, and they say, well, why, are you asking this person to pray for you or that person to pray for you? Why do Catholics pray to the saints? Go directly to Jesus. Well, go ahead. Bring that thought to its logical conclusion. Go directly to Jesus, and for that matter, go directly to the Father. Why did God send the Son into the world in the flesh? He sent him as a mediator. Now, the Father is God, Jesus is God, just as the Father is God. Why can't you just go to God? The Father doesn't hear your prayers. Jesus taught us to pray directly to the Father. The Father doesn't hear your prayers, but we go to the Father through Jesus, don't we? We say, our Father, Jesus taught us that. But you see, the point I'm making is, it is the will of God that there be mediation. Physical mediation. We are saved through the flesh of Jesus Christ. We are saved by the fact that in the incarnation, we celebrate at Christmas, by that fact, he took on a human body and soul, offered that body freely on the cross. His blood was shed for us. And even in the new and heavenly Jerusalem, the robes being worn are not just purified by the light of God, they're purified by the blood of God. It is the flesh of Jesus that we receive in communion. God mediates salvation through the flesh, and he calls upon love in the flesh. You could take, not just as a way of proving to them that he was alive, but as a sign of his entire saving work, the words of Jesus to the disciples after the resurrection, here, touch me. See the wounds in my hands. Put your hand into my side. Touch me. This is an invitation to his entire mode of saving us. Come into my presence in the Blessed Sacrament. Touch me in the Eucharist. Touch me in the poor. Touch me in the sick. Touch me when you touch your brothers and sisters whom you are serving. There's a whole theology here of a Catholic medical care, or Christian medical care, I should say. And if you look at Saint Gianna Molla, he was a physician, great pro-life saint, and her whole approach to medicine was, when I am serving my patients and healing them, I am touching the body of Christ. In marriage, why is marriage so sacred? The union of Christ and the church, but it's physical. You don't marry people virtually, spiritually, although I saw a strange thing on social media the other day. You may have seen it, where somebody married an artificial intelligence personality. Okay, obviously that's not a real marriage. Real marriage is what? Not only is it real people, between real people, but it's physical. Love, salvation are incarnate. They are in the.
Join us every Friday for a spiritual message from Father Frank. Always a good, positive way to start the weekend. All right, let's go to opening bell now over on Wall Street. A look at live numbers from MarketWatch.com. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all down this morning. It's been up and down all week. Heavy swings, big swings back and forth. But right now, a big drop on Wall Street on this Friday. President Trump, as you know, marked 1 year in office this week. He held a press conference on the 1 year mark, 2 hours. That's how long he was in the press briefing room talking to reporters. What other president can say they've done that? Our quote of the week is his entrance.
It's a big crowd. It's a lot of people. I think it's like a record. So these are accomplishments. We have a lot of accomplishments. And as you know, this is the anniversary, first anniversary, January 20th, and it's been an amazing period of time. We have a book that I'm not going to read to you, but these are the accomplishments of what we've produced. All page after page after page, individual things. I could stand here and read it for a week and we wouldn't be finished.
Do you see that book? That book is all the accomplishments in 1 year. That's a lot of accomplishments. That's a lot of winning. So we wanted to make sure that was our quote of the week. Looking at your news to go now as you start your Friday. The annual March for Life is happening right now in Washington, D.C. Thousands of people from across the country are being a voice for the unborn and fighting to end abortion. Again, that's happening right now and all throughout the day in Washington. The United States has officially left the World Health Organization. This comes after the World Health Organization's failures during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Trump administration put out a statement saying the organization doesn't serve the best interests of the American people. Elon Musk took the stage at the World Economic Forum. All ears listening to him, especially when he discussed aliens.
I'm often asked, are there aliens among us? And I'll say that I am one, but...
Or you're from the future.
They don't believe me.
Okay.
But I think if anyone would know if there are aliens among us, it would be me. We have 9,000 satellites up there, and not once have we had to maneuver around an alien spaceship. So I'm like, I don't know. Bottom line is, I think we need to assume that life and consciousness is extremely rare, and it might only be us. And if that's the case, then we need to do everything possible to ensure that the light of consciousness is not extinguished.
I don't know. I still believe there's more life out there, but if Elon says he hasn't run into any yet and he's the one that would know, then we'll see. But I don't know. I could talk about aliens all day, maybe for another broadcast on another day. And finally, don't forget to check your local weather all weekend long. Check on your neighbors, the elderly, pets, plants. It's going to be cold out there for a lot of us. So make sure you are keeping warm this weekend. And for all of your news of the day, make sure you're getting your headlines on LINDELLTV.com. We have op-eds, all of the top headlines there throughout the day, LINDELLTV.com. And we leave you today in prayer. Our Bible verse of the day comes from the book of Mark, and it says this: Jesus said, "For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many." And that'll do it for us here this morning for Breaking News 24/7. Make sure you're following me on social media, and we'll see you same time, same place Monday. Have a good weekend, America.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. MyPillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA-made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free. Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hardworking American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Linchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at NirvantaHealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to NirvantaHealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live